Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Our presentation for this day is all about the 5 years analysis of competency appraisal among English major students basis for enhancement program. I would like to introduce myself. I am Frelan Ilaba together with my co-members Lambert Intervention and Darly Asombrado. Let's proceed to the introduction of this study. Competency appraisal are strategies for evaluating a teacher's candidate's progress. College students' growth in professional competency and competency in practice are connected with each other, which is good for realizing the orderly transition from college students' career plan to professional career management path. National College of Education is committed to assessing student performance for all teachers' preparation programs on the basis of the competence aligned to the INTAS standards as well as the proficiencies related to the INSEE values diversity and technology. In assessing the performance of the graduating students in their competency appraisal, there are some implications span based on the results of their test. Upon addressing the issue of the competency appraisal, many researchers aim to find out the factors that affects the student performance in the test. In Malaysia, education is centered on an exam-oriented system. One can excel in an exam but be unable to apply what they have learned in practice. For example, the majority of pupils did well in the public English exams. However, more than half of them do not perform well when it comes to practicing language, according to Ruhaiza 2009. It is considered that it is difficult for pupils because the majority of them speak their own race's language. Furthermore, the drop in English competence in the Philippines could be attributed to a variety of factors. Wilson et al. 2009 claimed that ineffective and untrained teachers aggravated the problem. According to a 2008 poll conducted by the Philippine Department of Education, 80% of the secondary school teachers failed an English proficiency exam. This indicates the weak command of the English language among teachers, resulting in graduates with similar levels of proficiency. Moreover, in Region 11 Philippines, BPS or the Philippine Business for Education published an article in an electronic site. TAN 2016 revealed that more than half of LET takers failed in 2014, although the performance of teachers' education institution or the TEIs and LET generally improved, since LET results have been taking much a toll not just on professional career of LET takers but also on the performance of the College of TEIs. It is important to explore the LET takers' preparation and contributory attributes according to LBT 2019. The importance of this study is to develop enhancement program for the upcoming competency appraisal of English major students. The researchers would like to acknowledge the great contributor of this study. First, our school administrators. Results will guide them for further knowledge about how enhancement program for the upcoming competency appraisals will aid the level of performance among English major students. This study will help them generate school policies and programs. Aside from the school heads, teachers would also be beneficiaries of this study. Second, most benefits that will be taken from this quantitative research is the students. This study will assess them to be aware and prepared for the upcoming competency appraisals. The researchers are also beneficiaries of this research. And lastly, the future researchers can also benefit from this study. This will give guidance to the future researchers, for they can get necessary information from this study with acknowledging the sources. University of Mindanao Tagum College English major students will be the respondents of this study. The researchers will be gathering data in the previous 5 years competency appraisal of English major students in University of Mindanao and collect the results of the test to determine the test takers' level of performance in order to develop enhancement program. UMTC students will be conducted this study between August 2021 and May 2022 to attain the desired competence in research on language and literature, an additional body of knowledge. Respondents of the study will be the graduating students of UMTC who took their competency appraisal test. The data will be collected from the UMTC students and administrators.
As for the objective of this study, the expert will evaluate the results of the English major students at UMTC in their competency appraisal test basis for enhancement program. To achieve this objective, the study seeks to determine the level of performance of English major students from 2016 to 2020 competency appraisal test. The objectives are: number 1, to determine the level of performance in competency appraisal among English major students for the past 5 years in terms of linguistic area, the phonology, the phonetics, the syntax, semantics, and the morphology. From the area of literature, the Philippine literature, the young adult literature, the Old English literature, American English literature, and the Afro-American literature. The second objective of this research is to develop an enhancement program for the upcoming competency appraisal in the English major students for the next generation, or for the next coming years.
Review of related literature. In this section, topics related to this research problem are discussed to give readers better understanding of the study. The topic deal with the related literature. Studies and research of different authors which can give sufficient background necessary for the realization of the studies. Performance of test takers. In the Philippines, a material problem has arisen concerning the untrained and non-proficient instructors. Study shows that the members of the faculty needs to undergo many courses of enhancements, such as effective communication, academic and professional communication, academic writing with research and effective business and report writing. On the other side, the higher education institutions needs to support the constituencies in their higher education, producing scholarly journals and as an academic performer in various forums. Study explored the relationship of the test takers' English learning motivation, attitudes, the actual test used to the College English Test or CET, a high-stakes test in China, and their test performance. The findings reveal two distinctive dimensions with regards to English learning motivation and embedded value implication in the test use. Meanwhile, test takers' test performance was positively and negatively affected by their supportive attitudes toward the actual test use of CAT and test-related learning motivation, respectively, by Yang by 2020. Study explore how test takers' motivation and perception of test using and design are related to their test preparation practices. It was found that positive perception of test content were associated with more intensive test preparation. Also, test takers' perception of the test uses were found to be related to the value they place on test taking. By contrast, perception of test uses and test value did not significantly contribute to test preparation. In general, a test washback model with direct paths from test takers' perception to test preparation offered to account for more variation in test preparation than one without such direct paths. Findings imply that given the complexity of test preparation and washback, theories of motivation must be complemented by broader social consideration to explain test preparation and test washback, according to Razabaipour et al. 2020. Bukib et al. 2021. According to them, washback can either be seen to have a positive and negative effect. Washback is defined as the influence of language testing on teaching and learning. In Malaysia, a research was conducted to investigate the effects of washback of English Language Assessment System or ILAS on teaching and learning in universities' foundation program. To have a deep understanding and analysis on this issue, Miles and Haberman, 1994, an interview by the researcher was conducted to the 3 curriculum and assessment developers, 3 English language instructors, 4 students, and 4 alumni of the foundation program. Based on the research and assessment, it was found that ILAS gained high positive washback in many aspects of English teaching and learning, although there were some factors affiliated to instructors, students, assessments, and context-centered in the washback experience. Findings shows that positive washback is encouraged in giving few recommendations, according to Bookkeep et al. 2021. And according to Macaro and Han 2020, competency required for effective EMI or English medium instructor teaching include not only English proficiency in teaching skills through second language, but also skills of instruction in prospective academic disciplines. Purposes, challenges of the design and implementation of EMI leading to teacher certification. And lastly, according to Arifin et al. 2021, as an English language performance of the graduates in this country has been limited by employers. These studies focus on the writing products of graduating students to see the common errors made and to understand the interfering factors so that any intervention initiatives is to improve their English language proficiency can be objectively proposed. By understanding the errors from morphology perspective, instructors may also be able to figure out the specific causal factors that can help revise their methods and approach in teaching. The results found significant pedagogical implication on developing intervention or remedial programs for the graduating students.
So for our methodology, this research is conducted at UMTC or the Tagum College located at Tagum City, Mabini Street. The participants of this research or this study will be the UMTC English major students who took their competency appraisal test from the year 2016 up to 2020. The selection of this study will be the 1,000 English major students of the University of Mindanao Tagum College. However, if the participant of this study has less than 1,000, only the remaining counts were considered as the respondents of this study. The tools that will be used to analyze this study are as follows. The mean to determine the performance of a student's competence. The mean or the average of the data is found by adding all the numbers in the data set and then dividing by the number of values in the set. The second one is the standard deviation. This tool is used to measure the data relative to the performance of the students. The standard deviation is a statistic that measures the dispersion of a data set relative to its mean and is calculated as the square root of the variance. The standard deviation is calculated as the square root of the variance by determining each data point's deviation relative to the mean. As for the research design, this study is a quantitative research applied one variable study whereby focuses on the performance of the English major students in UMTC during competency appraisal. Their performance will be identified based on the results of their competency appraisal. A single variable or a single variable study is focused only on a single variable rather than the statistical relationship between two variables. Now, upon the data collection, after the permission of the panel members, we will be collecting data of the study following the course of procedures. Moreover, we will be asking permission from the office of the registrar of the University of Mindanao Tagum College to collect the necessary data to be used in the study. Furthermore, we will send a letter asking for permission to the office, and then after receiving the approval that we will administer the procedure in the study, we will personally send letters asking permission to the respected heads of the offices and retrieve all the data that is subject for analysis. The results will be expounded and analyzed. And that will be all. Thank you and God bless.